A new series that we're doing on YouTube called Mind Your Business. We're going to bring together some people that are going to give us some good ideas about how to do business well and how to do it right, how to do it successfully. Mind your business. We think it's a great idea. We're going to try and help you in your business. You know, leadership is important to me because I'm convinced that everything that we do, especially the things that we do of value, everything rises or falls on leadership. And so whoever we have coming along as leaders, they need to be good leaders. They need to be principled leaders. Whoever's in a place where they can lead a business, an organization, in the government, in your family, you need to be good leaders. And good leaders are developed. They don't just drop out of a plane somewhere. And the older I get, and I am getting older, the more convinced I am that the best leaders are servant leaders. When I first started hearing about that and thinking about servant leaders, maybe like you, I was a little puzzled at this word serve or servant, because in a lot of places it means something bad. People think it's someone who's walked on or beaten down or discarded. But the truth is, and there are a lot of models, wonderful models from history, a servant is someone who thinks of someone else and thinks about how that person, that group of individuals, can best be helped to become the best they can be. And I think that's what a leader does. It looks outside themselves and desires to help others. And I think the best way that you do that, whether it's someone in your family or in your business or your organization, is that you think about how you can serve them. I wanted to talk with you just briefly, but not quickly, this morning about how to be a great leader, how to push your leading to the highest possible level. I think that the way a good leader becomes a great leader is by being a servant leader. I want to share with you 5 quick ideas. They're not original with me. I got them from a guy named Mark Miller, and you can find books actually that he's written about this. But I want to just highlight for you some things that he's done based on this word, serve. One of the things that Miller says is that a good leader, a servant leader, will see the future. I know that we're living in such a constantly changing and shifting season as we're dealing with this COVID-19, and some of us are thinking, how can we know tomorrow, much less the future, a week, a year from now? Well, that's probably a good question, but it still remains that a good leader who serves his people well is going to be thinking about where is this thing going, and is going to do his best, her best, to see the future. Hey, let's break for vocabulary, okay? Let's look at the word engage. When we think about engage and what that means, especially thinking about leadership, it means to get involved, it means to pour yourself into, it means to spend some of your time and energy on something. A second thing that Miller says is that a good leader, a servant leader, will engage and develop others. Sometimes leaders get caught up in thinking about themselves, even thinking about how their people can make them look good. I believe that the best leader serves those who work with him and is not at all bothered by those who work around him looking really good and being very successful. Because when you develop those around you, guess what? You, the leader, look good as well. So don't be afraid to do that. Good leaders develop and engage others. Hey, quick break for vocabulary. Let's think about the word reinvent. This is really an easy one. If you know what invent means, it's something created or fashioned. Then to reinvent means to create it again, or to create it in a new way. When we think about leaders, just in a minute, we'll think about how we again and again and again create something new. Reinvent. A third thing that Miller says that a good leader, a servant leader, is constantly reinventing, is reinventing all the time. In fact, once a business or a family or an organization gets to a point of success with whatever it is, the new thing that they've done, it's the leader's job and responsibility, if he's going to serve those he or she works with, is to be thinking about
how do we reinvent ourselves? You don't have to live more than about 1 year in almost any country on the earth to realize that things this year are different from the way they were last year. And if you're the leader and you don't think about reinventing yourself, however you serve or whatever you sell or whatever you do is not going to be as applicable today if you don't think about how to reinvent yourself given the things that have changed. Another thing that Mark Miller says is that a good leader, a servant leader, values results and relationships. Some leaders don't value anything except getting credit. Some leaders mostly value the results, and that's all they're concerned about, the bottom line. But a good leader, a servant leader, will value results. You have to. How many did we make? How many customers did we serve? How many widgets did we sell? You have to think about the value and the results. But a good leader will also think about the relationships. How are the interdependent relationships in your business or in your family, if you're the leader of your family? How are those working? Is anybody struggling? Is anybody needing some help? A good leader, a servant leader, will value results, but also relationships. Quick break for vocabulary. Let's look at this word, embody. When you just see the word body, that helps us to know what embody means. It means to take onto yourself as nearly as you can whatever it is that you're talking about. If it's values, or if it's a language, or an idea, or an attitude, if you embody that, you take it on as a part of who you really are. The last thing that Miller says is that a servant leader, a good leader, will embody the values. It's not enough for a leader to just say, here are the things that make us strong. It's in fact not enough for the leader to say, here are the things I want you to do. A good leader, a servant leader, will actually embody those values of their business or their organization or their family, so that when anyone in the organization or the business or the family wants to know what are our values, they simply look to the leader and they see those values being lived out. Thanks for your time. Again, check us out at Global English Institute if we can help you with your English language learning journey, and be a good leader. Lead the very best that you can. Have a great week.